calling all my stressed out moms. Do you need some emergency stress intervention time here? Well, today I've got your back with this episode. Tune in to this episode where I'm going to spill the beans on 15 tried and true techniques to help you tackle your stress head on. These aren't just random tips I found on Google. These are personally tested and approved by yours truly. Because let's face it, I've been in that mom's stress zone more times than I can even count. So get ready for some practical advice and some instant stress relief. You do not want to miss out because your sanity deserves this. Hi, I'm Addict, and I'm always rambling. Just ask my husband. I have a great family and a pretty cool life, but I'm a recovered alcoholic. That's hard to say, but my goal is to inspire and educate to help others hopefully find life beyond an addiction. I'm all things: sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Getting healthy, momming, and politics. Get offended easily? You better stop listening. There is no point in wasting that Botox by stressing yourself out listening to a podcast. Welcome to Ramblings of an Addict with Jenna Dix. Today's episode brought to you by products and services that I'm thoroughly addicted to. Are you tired of feeling overwhelmed and uncertain during the home buying process? Especially in today's market? Spring and summer can be a crazy time to buy or sell a home, period. And then you add this whole new wild market on top, and it can be overwhelming. But do not let that hold you back from your dreams. Look no further. Mike Dix, a realtor with Pemberton Homes, is here to make your experience stress-free, easy, and exciting. With years of experience and a passion for truly helping his clients, Mike is an expert in the Minnesota and Wisconsin markets. He understands the unique needs of a buyer in today's market and will guide you every step of the way. Do not miss out on your dream home. Contact Mike Dix today. Check out the show notes for his information and start your home buying journey with confidence. Hello, welcome to today's episode. So if you tuned in past the little intro there, right? You are hanging on tight because you are sitting in a seat thinking, holy moly, I'm stressed out. Well, you're not alone. I think every mom has those moments, right? Truth be told, I think I have those moments on a daily basis. I don't even think I think it, right? I know it. I do have those stressed out moments on a daily basis, especially with, multiple kids with different personalities. You have your personality. Your spouse has their personality. Yeah, there's going to be stressed out mamas out there. That's normal. But that doesn't mean that's where we have to be and just become disastrous stress balls, right? So today, that is exactly what we're going to be talking about. So I'm glad you hung on. We're going to dive into 15 tips, strategies, tricks, whatever the heck you want to call them. But these are things, like I said, that tried and true. These are not things I just got on Google. I literally sat down and was like, what are my top things that I personally do when I feel like I'm ready to give the world the bird and be like, I'm done right now. Just leave me alone, everyone. Right? All right. Before we dive in, make sure if you have yet to follow the podcast or subscribe, make sure to do that. Make your life easy, right? Why stress yourself out even more with, oh crap, I forgot to download that podcast. Now I need to go down and download all the ones I've missed. No, make your life easier. In addition, if you have not yet rated and reviewed, I would definitely appreciate that. As a podcaster, I'm learning that's kind of our love language. So if you could give me a rating and review, I would so appreciate it. And you don't even need to leave the app, or you don't even need to leave the podcast you're listening to. Open your phone, look at the podcast, click the 3 little dots on your screen, and it'll say go to show. Click go to show, and then the ratings and review screen is right there. It's really, really easy. Trust me. So if you wouldn't mind, I would appreciate it. All right, so let's get into this because you're listening because you're stressed out. We're not going to waste time. We're jumping right into these strategies. These are in no way, shape, or form in any order, right? You might find that the one she put at number 1 was not top of mind. This was not the best one. No, these are just random tips thrown on a piece of paper because I've done these at certain points in my life because they work. You might find that one of these is like, yeah, that doesn't work for me at all. But, oh, that one did. And actually, I find if I combine her number 1 or number 3 and her number 7, that's like my magic recipe, right? That's what this is about. So if you can, grab yourself a piece of paper or open up the notes section on your phone, start taking some notes. Otherwise, sit, take a deep breath, relax, and let some of these soak in. Maybe one of these is going to speak to your soul and help you find some extra stress relief. All right, so the first one I have for you. Clean out your digital space. This right here shows my nerdy side, okay? But I can tell you, when my phone or my computer, which I spend a lot of time on both for different pieces of my careers, because let's face it, it's 2023 and we are on our devices more than we like to admit. But when mine feel cluttered, when I feel like there's too many things on there trying to grab my attention or too many, essentially like to-dos on there, it bogs me down mentally. So, for example, some things that I personally do once in a while. Number 1, I go into like the download section on my computer and I organize it. Oh, I downloaded this for this contract I'm working on, or I downloaded this for homeschool, put that in the homeschool file. Like I quick organize my download section and delete what I don't need because it just gives me some nerdy peace, right? Another piece that I do with my phone is I go through my camera every few days, delete what needs to go, screenshots or, oh my goodness, this new one. McKenna has figured out how to get on here and take photos, and I'm deleting probably close to 100 photos a day of close-up, whatever she's looking at. So actually, I just looked before I popped in here. I got about 50 photos close up of the tile on my kitchen table. Thanks, McKenna. I guess I really needed those photos, right? But you can go through, you delete the photos you don't need, organize the ones that you want to keep, put them into albums, things of that sort. And you may be thinking, what a waste of time. Okay, maybe for you, yeah, but there's going to be people out there that your digital environment, if it's organized, you do find a little bit more peace. You don't feel so stressed out. Another one that I like to do is I will go into my podcast queue so I'm subscribed to several shows. Number 1, you better be subscribed to mine, right? But I'm a subscriber to, oh my goodness, a ton of podcasts. I'm a podcast junkie. I love podcasts, hence why I do one myself. But there's times when life has gotten to be a lot. And, when you have numerous podcasts you're subscribed to downloading, and I probably shouldn't say this because, I put myself at risk. You might delete mine. But I'm sharing this tip because it does help me, at least mentally. I will go into my download section of my app and see, okay, which ones can I delete? Which ones do I can essentially say, I will not die or I will not miss, something huge if I delete this. For me, that helps me. I did this yesterday morning because I was starting to feel stressed out every time I looked at my phone. And I realized, I don't know why, but it was my podcasts that were making me feel stressed out because I was like, oh, there's so many that I need to listen to and catch up on, and I just don't have time. And I went in and I deleted, I would say 75% of them from the download section. I can always go back in and re-download them if I decide or I find spare time, which, doubtful, but maybe, right? And for me, it helped me. So there is some value in cleaning your digital space. Do not take that lightly if you're a person that, like me, likes to keep your digital environment organized and tidy as well. Because it really does take up mental space that we don't realize. I think going along with this, right, keep your actual environment tidy, organized, things of that sort as well. Because even for me, like sometimes I like to sit down and kind of clean the house before I have to sit down and work. Like, for example, today, Mike took McKenna for a little bit, so I had a few hours to get some stuff done. I tidied up a little bit because I'm like, I don't want to sit down in the middle of chaos and then try to be, productive and focused, because that's not going to happen. So organize your space physically as well, if that helps you personally find some extra bandwidth mentally. If that's going to stress you out more, throw that one out the window. If you're like, are you effing kidding me? I'm stressed out. Now you're telling me to go sweep my damn floor? No. If it brings you peace, amen. If it doesn't, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'm delegating that to my teenager, right? All right. Number 2, use music to create a more peaceful space for yourself. So for me, I love, when I get a rare moment at home by myself, I love turning on spa music. It gets to the point now where when they come home, McKenna's first thing is she walks over to Alexa and, Alexa, off. Ugh, Mom, there's spa music. And I love it. Like, it just calms me. It makes McKenna's skin crawl, apparently. But, auditorily, it helps me feel a little bit more at ease. Every once in a while, like, you just gotta feel, like, what's my body needing? What's my mental state needing? Sometimes I need some cool jazz. Sometimes I'm like, I just need some hardcore rap that is incredibly full of profanity. That's not always gonna help me, but depending on what my stress is caused by, it might be helpful. This actually happened yesterday, this piece right here. There's definitely times too where, worship music really comes into play. If I'm really stressed out, there's a specific trigger or something, I will turn on some worship music, and really try to dive into the words, focus on them, pray with them, things of that sort. So yesterday, McKenna is a talker. Like, obviously, her mother has a podcast called Ramblings. Mac knows how to ramble. She's learned that skill. But, y'all, like, it is next level. Like, there's moments, it's like, literally last night, she went on, we kind of just looked at each other and we let her keep going. And it's just nonstop. Just into the next sentence, into the next sentence. No one's responding. And she's just going. And she was like that yesterday afternoon. After I just gotten myself ready, I had kind of rushed and gotten her ready, was trying to head out the door, and she's in one of those moments, right? And I'd asked her, hey, Mommy needs a minute. Can we be quiet? I said, we talked a lot today. We just need to have a peaceful moment. And I'd already done the whole sit down. We prayed together, hoping that would calm her. No. Well, she did not respect that request, which she's 3, fair. So we get in the car. I cranked worship music so loud. I could see her mouth moving in the rearview mirror. And all I could hear was the word of the worship music. And I'm like, you know what? Judge all you want, people. Anyone who sees me in my car right now, judge all you want. Or anyone in here, you're may be thinking, what? You tuned her out? You literally overlapped her sound? Oh, I did. Because she was talking just ramblings. They didn't need to have a soundboard for me at that moment. She just wanted to chat. And I get that. And she does need that space. And I try to honor that as much as I can. But sometimes Mom's brain can't. So I cranked that sucker all the way up to max. My volume couldn't go any louder in the car. And by the time we got to where we were going, which was about 4 blocks away, I'd listened to a worship song. I don't know. She maybe talked herself out. I don't really think she did. And we get out and she goes, wow, Mom, that was loud. I said, sure was. And we just went on with our day. But I don't know. Oddly enough, that incredibly loud music did bring me some peace. So make sure you're, using music to your advantage, because music does have so much potential to help your emotions, I think. Another one, smells. I'm a big time smell person for good and bad. Like, if something stinks, whoo. Like, when I was pregnant, that whole thing was shot for me because, like, I already don't do well with smells. So then you add on being pregnant, it was bad news. It was so bad news. But if something smells good and I can create like a atmosphere of good smells, it can definitely help kind of shift my mood, shift my energies, my focus. So love it or hate it, right? Yes, I'm a health coach. We all know that people talk about, the bad things that can come with different smelly things, right? But you know what? Sometimes I have to give myself grace. And there's a moment where I'm like, okay, yes, I need to have a Scentsy going because I do have a very handy dandy Scentsy rep who gets me some good smelling stuff, right? Or I'll light a candle. Sometimes I try to go more on the holistic side and get some oils going or, herbs. Like yesterday, we actually picked some fresh lavender. But smells totally can kind of shift my mood. And if I'm stressed out, a good smell can actually help me find a small percentage of peace. All right, number 4. For those of you that have a husband, right, tag him in. Say, hey, I need some space. Take the kids. If you are not in, you don't have a husband, tap in a close family member that you would trust to take them. But like, this is exactly what I did today. We'd actually been planning it. He knew he was going to take her today, but I had told him a couple days ago, I need alone time. I've really come to realize this last month or so, last couple months, that I'm an introverted extrovert. I do great in public things. Like I do well. I can communicate with people. I don't mind public, busy settings, things of that sort. But I need my alone time to recharge. And since COVID and becoming a bio mom, so now we're talking, friends, like 3.5 years, that time has been so minuscule for me. And I wonder why I feel more stressed out than I ever used to in the past, right? Obviously, there's new things, right? I have a daughter that's here all the time. But it's also because we had a lot of shifts in the household where Mike used to work, a regular 9 to 5. He'd be gone. His last job, oh my gracious, because he would have to commute downtown to Minneapolis. And he would leave at like 5:30 in the morning. And there were days he wasn't getting home till like 6:30 at night. So, I'd have solid time by myself. Well, yeah, since COVID, that is no longer. So I'm trying to be more focused on, okay, I need some time. I'm going to get shit done during that time. I'm not just going to sit on my ass and sleep or anything of that sort for the most part. There's nothing wrong with that. We need those times too, but I'm going to get shit done. And it feels good. So I think we need to, as moms, be like, I cannot have guilt. I cannot have guilt for this. I deserve a little time because all humans, yes, we are made to be with other people, but we can also do a lot by having some time to just reflect, be with ourselves, be with God, be with Jesus, all by our solos, right? Number 5, phone a friend. So obviously, kind of similar to the last one, tag in your partner when you need, or a close family member or something of that sort. But sometimes you just need like rescue help. And if you are at that point, like, give yourself permission. Please give yourself permission, because we've all been there. I rarely do this, but I can tell you, when I do have to lean on this, it has been so incredibly helpful. I think the last recent time was just recently, actually, a few weeks ago. And my girlfriend up the road coincidentally called, and she called and she's like, hey, how's it going? And she could hear McKenna having a meltdown in the background. And I was fried. It had been a really bad week. And I literally had nothing left in my tank. And I rarely get to that point, but when I do, it's like, I can't. Like, I feel like I'm drowning, right? And you've been there. You're like, oh my goodness, I know exactly what she's saying. My girlfriend, no joke, was like, I'm on my way. I didn't even have to say anything. And she drove down here, and we sat and talked. She talked me through it. She had some hard truths. We had some jokes. But it was an ear. It was a shoulder. And we need that sometimes, because no matter how much you tell yourself, you're not freaking supermom. And you shouldn't have to be, right? You're human. We are not perfect. We are fragile. God purposely made us that way. So sometimes if you need to lean on someone else, it is okay. In addition to that, so, if needing more than just I need to phone a friend, right? See if you can get additional support. Like, I will be transparent. Right now, my mom, who has a little bit more time on her hands this summer, she is stepping in and she's helping a little bit more with McKenna. So we have a little bit more time to get stuff done, and I'm not feeling like a stressed out, frazzled ball as frequently because of her assistance. Asking for help is hard. Accepting help is hard. But we need to do both. All right, on to number 6. Slow down. This tip actually comes to me from the day that I tagged someone in, or when I phoned a friend, rather. When I called my girlfriend down here, and we were chatting, and she's like, Jenna, are you still listening to everything at 2 times speed? I said, yeah. And I do, everything. Like, from the moment I'd wake up, and I'd throw on my AirPods, and I'd listen to my Bible in a Year app, and then I'd listen to podcasts or audiobooks or any type of audio. I will try to make sure that there's a way to listen to it at 2 times speed. Even like video chats from my friends. If there's an option to 2 times it, I do, because I just want things to go quick. Don't waste time, right? That's my mentality. And she goes, you need to stop. Knock it off. And I looked at her like she's freaking nuts, because I'm like, I'm not going to fucking do that, because I listen to everything at 2 times so I can get through twice as many things, right? And she goes, okay. Because she could tell by my face, right, that that's not going to happen. She goes, okay. At least when you're listening to the Bible in the morning, do not listen at 2 times speed. Slow down. Start your day a little bit slower, because you just need to be more conscious of slowing down. And she talked about how this is something she does. And I need to embrace it further. I can't even lie. This is one I struggle with. I do think if I embrace this tip more, deepen it even further, I think it will continue to help me. But I can tell you, even just the 1 time speed on my Bible app, which there's days I look at it, I'm like, 14 minutes? I could get this done in 7. But instead, nope, 14. And I'm annoyed for like a minute, which, what a ridiculous thing to be annoyed about, but I am. But I truthfully do need to start to think, slow down, slow down. Number 1, I do think we make more errors when we're rushing all the time. Like, have you ever been in that situation where you're trying to hurry up for something and it just feels like everything's going wrong because you're hurrying and it's actually making you take longer? Like, oh shit, I dumped that all over. Oh, left that behind. I got to go back to that room now. And you're like, if I would just take a half a beat longer on each thing, I would actually go faster in the long run. I do think there's truth to that. I need to live that more. I need to try that hard. I'm not going to even say I want to try that, because here's the deal. I tell my clients, don't say that. We need to really reflect and think on this then. What are the obstacles, things of that sort? Because 9 times out of 10, if somebody says, I'm going to try, not so much, not so hard. I do see value in this, and I want to continue to grow this. But I can tell you, even just slowing down the rate of speed on that one app for me every day, it puts a little more focus on go with the flow of the world. Stop adding oomph and making things more stressful and sped up. Because time's going to pass no matter what. We get that. Why are you stressing yourself out, though, trying to cram in way more than you typically should within a 24-hour span, right? And I saw a lot of value in this as well yesterday because, so last night we're sitting there and McKenna at least, I'm not joking, 10 times yesterday said, "Oh, that's a waste of time." I'm thinking, oh no, that came from mom. That came from mom 100%. Because that's my mindset. That's a waste of time. Make it go faster. Get it done. And I can't lie, she was using it because she wanted to watch TV, because we had told her, no, go play with toys or go color, or, well, that's a waste of time. No, sweetheart, you don't got that phrase right. But the phrase still nonetheless came from mom, and she's learning it, she's seeing it, and I do not want her to fall into this nasty habit that I can so often be in. So slow down. There's no need to try to go 2 times speed in every single thing we're functioning throughout the day. All right, number 7. Take a breath. There's a couple strategies with this that I wanted to talk about, but truthfully, there is so much that can come from just taking a minute and breathing deep. I think I've talked about it on here more than once, but I do use the breathing app, device, feature on my Apple Watch. So that does help. I've done that for a long time, even back when I had a Fitbit. Like when I am that's how I start my day. The breathing app, check my heart rate, things of that sort. I'll pray during it. But if I'm really, really, really in a mode where I'm like, okay, it feels like my heart's going to pound out of my chest because I am so stressed out right this second, that breathing app can help. And it's short. So it's not like, oh, I have to sit down and commit to a 15-minute, chill out meditation or breathing or, it's 60 seconds in and out. Another thing that I really like to do is it's called progressive muscle relaxation. And this is a technique that I learned from multiple counselors that I've had. We've talked about it throughout different coach trainings I've done. But it's where, so you lay down on your back, either put your hands, at least the ways I've learned, right? Either put your hands on your belly or down at your sides. You close your eyes, kind of regulate your breathing, try to calm yourself, throw on some peaceful music or something of that sort, maybe get, the good smells going. But if you're just like, oh my goodness, I'm super stressed out, or truth be told, I use this when I'm struggling to fall asleep sometimes as well. But so you're laying on your back and you have your eyes closed, you're deep breathing. And when you breathe in, you start from your feet and you work your way up to your head. So when you breathe in, you tense a muscle and you squeeze it as hard as you can. And then as you breathe out, you exhale and you relax that muscle. So like I said, you start at your feet and you work your way up. So I'll start and I will breathe in and I squeeze my feet and tense those muscles on my toes and my feet as hard as I can. Hold it for a moment and then I breathe out and I relax my feet. And then I move up to my calves and then I move up to my quads and then I move up to my glutes and then I work into my belly, my back, my arms, my hands. Like obviously I just reversed that order a little bit, but all the way up to my face, right? And I'm sure you can YouTube this, Google this, and find like actual videos or a better advice on how to actually do this, right? But it can be so relaxing and it doesn't take too long. I usually wind up spending, 2-3 minutes on this, sometimes even longer, depending on how chill I need to get myself or how amped up I was rather. But it is so helpful for me. All right, number 8, go outside. If it's snowing or if it's raining, probably not. But actually, I've had some, and I'm not a runner, but I've had some solid kick-ass runs in the rain when I've been really stressed out, and they've been so cool. Like, number one, it's like, wow, I'm running really well. But probably because of adrenaline, right? It's just like amping me up and forcing me to go. But that there's just something peaceful about the rain. Obviously, if it's lightning, thundering, crazy hail or wind, be smart. But going outside, fresh air, you see nature, you see God's works all around you. If it's sunny, you're getting some vitamin D, just cleaner smells typically. There's truthfully something so peace creating going outside. We try to, even with these allergies, I'm not even gonna lie, I think I'm on cough drop number 3 right now. I've gone through like a half a glass of water trying to get through this podcast because allergies, ooh. I told my husband, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna go outside today. I think that's BS. I probably will wind up out there. But, there is, even just a few minutes outside every day, a lot of value in that. All right, number 9. Find a podcast or a resource, if you're a book person or anything of that sort, maybe a YouTuber. I like podcasts. But find a resource that hits on a topic you're struggling with. So if you're like, oh my goodness, I'm so stressed out about my marriage, or I'm so stressed out about toxic work environment, or I'm so stressed out about my child and this XYZ challenge we're running into. Find a resource. Stop trying to do it all by yourself. This is something you can do right now. Total transparency. Mike and I had a couple stressful days last week. And I thought to myself, what am I going to do? I went online. I Googled podcasts that are, faith-based from true believers talking about marriage, tips, things of that sort. And I found a couple podcasts. And I've been binging them when I have some spare minutes. And it is helping me find more peace in that arena that I was struggling with for a couple days. And it wasn't something I had to wait for a counselor or get an appointment with a pastor or, it wasn't something crazy. It was something that I could do on my own with resources that are usually, within arm's reach, because 9 times out of 10, you can find those types of things down on your phone. All right. Number 10, read. And this one can go with the last one. So obviously you could find a resource that you need in a book. And you could read all about whatever you're struggling with. But you could also, read for more of the pleasure, because I think we've all been there where kicking back with a good book can really help you just zen out a little bit, right? Whether it's something totally just for pleasure, like it's fiction. It's a fiction book. Or you find something that is nonfiction, but something that you either nerd out about or you really enjoy. Right now I'm reading about some faith stuff because I really enjoy that. So it is nonfiction, but it's not something I'm purposely trying to educate myself on for a reason. It's just, I really enjoy this topic and I want to continue to deepen my knowledge. So sitting back with that book to me is relaxing. All right. Number 11. Talk it out. And what I mean is, if you have a very, 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 very trusted individual that will not hold what you say to them against you, or maybe if you're venting to them, that they'll hold it against the person that you're venting about, or it will not go past their mouths or their lips ever. If you have that individual, great. I can tell you, I do have an individual like that, and we're both that sounding board for each other. We also bring the sense of truth, where we're like, okay, are you just venting? Okay, cool. But we still give that, okay, this is my thought, or this is my opinion, or hey, I think you were a little irrational. Be cautious with this one always. One thing that, when I found myself, this was probably 5 years ago, when I found myself in a cycle where I was constantly venting about Mike to my friends. I don't remember. I think it was my counselor told me, unless it is that trusted, tried and true, one person confidant that you don't overuse. You're not constantly venting to them. It's like in dire need, like, dude, I need you for a second, okay? She's like, you never vent parallel. You only vent up, meaning either A, you're venting to God, you're talking to God, you're sorting things out with God, or B, a pastor or a counselor or a coach of sorts, right? She told me that advice. I've really taken that to heart. That's how I try to be as much as I can. But I can tell you, talking things out, saying them with your lips can bring peace. Whether you want to bitch about your kids, you want to bitch about your husband, you want to complain about your job, you want to complain about a stressful thing that happened this week, right? I have found a lot of value in doing that with my podcast. Not that you all are, my vent session, but saying things out loud, it just processes differently in your brain. So I've suggested to a few people, like, what you should try sometime? Talk to the notes section on your phone, like the voice note section. Just say it out loud. I've done this where I was complaining about a work situation one time to a friend on a video chat. And it's a video chat that's not live. Like, it's called Marco Polo. If you've never tried that app, download it. If you have friends, period, you'll probably like the app. Especially, though, if your friends are not, local. It's really nice to be able to see each other's faces, hear their voice. You can do it on your own time. So they record and then you go watch it when you have time. That kind of deal, right? But anyway, I had a week one time where I had a really stressful situation at work. I vented on a video chat to a friend for about 15 minutes. And I went in after, and I saw, probably like 2 hours later, I went in and I saw she hadn't seen it yet, and I deleted it. And she goes, did you delete something? And I was like, I did. I was like, I kind of used you as a venting moment, and just being able to say it, I felt a lot better. So you don't need to hear it. I was like, I'll give you the snidbits, like I'll give you the summary, at some point when we have a second. But I was like, I just needed to process. So being able to process verbally, there is a lot of value in. If you're really stressed out, go sit in your closet and record it to your phone and just be like, what the heck, right? Or if you're a journaler. I'm not a journaler so much. I don't know. I just don't process like that. I process more verbally. I like to word vomit, I guess. If you are the type, though, that likes to journal, that could be your outlet. But getting it out of your body. Stop holding it toxic inside, right? All right, what number am I on? Number 12. Workout. Simple. Go move your body. Whether it's light, like you go on a walk or you do some stretching, or you're like, I'm hella mad. I'm going to go do an insanity workout, or I'm going to go beat the shit out of my punching bag, or I'm going to go jog in the rain. Workout. You are literally getting the adrenaline out of your body. You are literally exhausting yourself so that I don't have to be so stressed out anymore. My body is tired, right? There is so much potential, solid self-care in a workout. Not only are you burning calories, helping your heart health, it is so good for your mental health. All right, number 13, plug into your tribe of support. If you are really stressed out and you're having a moment, you're like, oh my gosh, I need something. I can't do this right now. Maybe you're in a mom's group. Go in there, whether it's a virtual one or whatever, right? Or maybe you have a small group that you meet with from church, message one of them, call one of them. Or maybe it's an actual, just great group of girlfriends that you have a text thread. Be cautious with the venting, but remember you have a tribe for a reason, so you can lean on each other, support one another. Another good thing for, I've talked about it on here before, but the Grit and Grace Rambling Collective. Great place, because not only do you have a health coach in there, but other women who you can sit in there and be like, dude, this is what I'm dealing with. You can say, hey, I need to just, put this out there, get it out of my body, or I would like some advice, I would like some thoughts, I would like some accountability, I would like some support. but find that tribe in some way, shape, or form. And obviously, shameless plug that yes, the Grit and Grace Rambling Collective is always an option. Number 14, take a shower, take a bath, dive into some solid self-care routine. You know, for me personally, like there's moments when I'm like so stressed out and I'm like, I'm just going to go take a shower. I don't know if it's like the like washing off of the day, but like there's just it just feels good to like hop in the shower. I don't even wash my hair half the time, right? But I hop in the shower, I get my makeup off. Usually in those days where I'm really stressed, I'll grab my loofah gloves and I like exfoliate my body. I get out, I lotion, I'll do my face routine. It just feels good. It gives me a minute. And for the most part, no one bothers me too much. McKenna's gotten better. She used to come in there all the time. She still does every once in a while, and I'm sure that will continue forever, right? But unplug from everything and go pop in the shower, hop in the tub, go be like, I'm going to go wash my face and take your time, putting your lotions or your oils or whatever you do on. Pamper yourself for a second, even if it truly is just a second. And number 15, go take a date night, right? So we already talked about, hey, honey, take the kids. I can't deal with the kids right now. But maybe it's, I just need to be a grown-up. I'm stressed out. I need to be with my husband that I love. I just need to not have my children by me, but I don't want to be alone. I want to have that ear. I want to have a friend. I want to have my support system. Go on a date, whether it's breakfast, lunch, coffee, you just go on a walk, you go to the library, you go to dinner, I don't care. This happened Memorial Day, actually. So we actually had plans. We went to a Memorial Day event in the morning, and then afterwards we were supposed to kind of go do a barbecue type thing. And our plans initially were just kind of hanging out at this family member's house for the day. We were already both kind of stressed out by the time Monday came around after a long weekend. And we went to this Memorial Day event in the morning, and McKenna was, we'll look at each other and say is, whew, she's on one, which means like she's a lot today. And she was a lot that day. And we looked at each other and he goes, I think we need a date night tonight. I was like, I could not agree more. So we went to the other family member's house for a little bit, and then we went and dropped her off at another family member's house because we just needed time. And I can't lie, like we both felt a little guilty that we didn't stick with our original plans full out. But at the same time, us having that bandwidth and that space and being able to say like, we deserve and need this, it felt good. And when we got to pick her up that night, like, were we 100%? No, not at all. But we were better off than if we hadn't done that. Okay. All right. So those are my 15 things to do if you are really, really stressed out. Bonus one. And this, my friends, is one I saved for last. I lied, I guess, because I said no intentional order and all the other 15. No, this one, though, my bonus is one that ties into, it should tie into all of the other 15. It should go hand in hand with it. It's like the cherry on the top and the foundation, right? Pray. Have open communication with God. Because we are imperfect beings. We are not enough to keep going. Number one, we live in a society that tells us that we need to be super moms sometimes, or at least it feels like that, right? God doesn't say that. He knows we're imperfect. Go to him. Tell him how you're feeling. Pray. Look up scriptures or passages about how you're feeling. This week, for example, there were multiple times, and I will be honest, these words that I'm about to tell you that I've been saying, more often than not this week, they felt empty in the aspect of like, I'm just saying it, just say it. But I'm continuing to because I know there's so much truth in these words. And the more I say them, the more I start to really complete them with my tongue, the more I will start to believe them, right? And I keep saying this week, God, you are enough. Because I've had a lot of weight on my shoulders. And there's moments with my type of personality, I feel like I have to do it all. I have to fix it all. I have to create it all. I have to do it all. And I need to remind myself, God is enough. All I need to depend on is God, right? And like I said, literally, there was a moment I was sitting on the stair this week and I said it probably 10 times. God, you are enough. God, you are enough. And if somebody'd seen me from the outside, they probably would have thought I was a wackadoodle. But literally, I'm saying it over and over and over because I'm like, I need to believe this. I need to know this. This is what I need to live. Because there are moments as well where it is just being said. And then eventually you get to a point where you're like, holy shit, that's the truth. That is right. I just was talking about this in the Grit and Grace Rambling Collective actually the other day. One of my phrases that I love to say, one step at a time. You take life one step at a time. And it took me a long time to really start to embrace that. That was a phrase that I really started to lean in on when I was going through a divorce. And then when I was, fighting for sobriety. One step at a time. And I envisioned in my head one step at a time. And I am clenching Jesus's hand so damn hard as I take just that one shaking, feeble step. But it's just one step. But I've gotten to a point now where that's second nature to me. Okay, wait a minute. Chill out, Jenna. One step at a time. And that's essentially what I'm hoping with continuing to repeat. God, you are enough. God, you are enough. I don't need to be the savior of all. I don't need to do it all. You are enough. Okay? Do not underestimate the power of your faith in knowing that being one with Jesus is going to help you in so many ways, even when you are stressed out to the max and it feels like you're looking at your gas tank or your energy tank rather, and it's on E. Those other 15 steps can definitely be helpful, but that bonus step is one you cannot skip. So as we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with the reminder that you're not alone in this journey. Physically, you are not, right? We talked about, you have your tribe. Many of us have our partners. We have our girlfriends. We have our mom tribes, things of that sort. But just like I tell Mac, Jesus is always with you. So take a moment, breathe, close your eyes, maybe a little muscle relaxation, right? But talk to God. Let him know what you're worrying about or what you're struggling with. Surrender it to him and ask him, guide me. Which way do I go? What do I do? Can you help me with the strength I need to stay on the path that you want me on? As always, remember that you're putting on that armor of God every single day. Knowing that you will be protected and set up to face whatever is going to come your way that day. And yeah, every day. My mentor continues to tell me this all the time. And she's right. You need to make sure that armor is on securely every day because every day is going to have its challenges. And we all need to remember that we are stronger than we realize. And we have the power to overcome stress and reclaim some peace. Jesus is a huge, huge piece of that. It's not coming from within your soul by yourself. So we need to remember, though, we can walk forward, one step at a time with a little bit more confidence. Knowing that in our toolkit, that's how my brain thinks, right? We all have our toolkit. we have some strategies that can help us with overwhelming, stressful moments. So we may not want to embrace the chaos per se, but we can manage. We can deal with it. Possibly even finding some joy throughout it, right? I want to thank you so much for joining me on this journey of ramblings. Until next time, continue to search and find the strength that you need to navigate the challenges you'll come across. That you'll have the wisdom to make the right choices that you need to make. And the courage to embrace your personal mom/family beautiful mess. Because that's what it is. It may feel messy. It may feel stressful. But it's your beautiful life. And we need to look at that in that perspective. So stay strong, stay resilient, and keep shining your light. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Ramblings of an Addict with Jenna Dix. Remember, if you are battling an addiction, reach out for help and support. There are many resources available to assist in your journey towards recovery. Surround yourself with a supportive community and never give up on the path towards a healthier and happier life. I appreciate you taking the time to listen and joining me on this journey. As you heard, I'm always rambling. But seriously, thank you for your support and make sure to subscribe and follow my channel. I can't wait to share more with you on the next episode. Until then, keep on rambling. If you have found this podcast helpful and want to dive deeper into personal growth and self-improvement, be sure to head over to my website, jennadix.com. You'll find a wealth of resources there. There is a little less drugs, sex, and rock and roll these days, but whether you're interested in getting healthy, information on momming or parenting, or politics, jennadix.com has something for everyone. So, what are you waiting for? Head to jennadix.com today and start your journey towards personal growth and self-awareness. See you there.